Good morning, Highland. I'm a few minutes early because our 3-year-old has a Zoom call with his class starting at 10, which means he's going to be late to it. So I will not have a long, lengthy word to share with you, but just a little something. First, I want to name birthdays for the week. Wishing a happy birthday to Francis Davis, Alicia Fuller, Katie Williams, Arlette Tinsley, Cody Kendall, Jennifer Pardon, Carly Phelps, Tyler M., Carolyn Downey, Cheryl Davis, Cynthia Martinez, and Rick Finkley. So happy birthday to all of you. So this Sunday we are reading, I feel like that light fixture is coming out of my head, so I may move a little. This Sunday we're reading from Acts, and I have to tell you that, this section from Acts, let me find it, chapter 17, it has this great piece about Paul in Athens, and it's a speech that Paul gives that we all love. It's beautiful, but it's interesting because it's very clear in Acts the type of person that Paul was. Paul was an arguer. Paul was a religious debater. It says at the beginning of 17, Paul went in as was his custom, and on 3 Sabbath days argued with them from the scriptures. Argued with them from the scriptures. It says it again in 17, verse 17. He argued in the synagogues. He was an arguer. He was a debater. And I have to tell you that religious debate is not my cup of tea. I think it's because I grew up in the midst of the Southern Baptist Seminary going down, and watching how terrible religious debate made everyone feel. So I am not a religious debater. I am not someone who has interest in theological knockdown, drag out fights to prove that we both think we're still right at the end. So I'm not a religious debater, but when you read the content of what Paul says in our section of scripture from Acts 17 that we'll read on Sunday, what's most important is the content and not just the method. Just because one person loves to debate doesn't mean that's the way to to communicate about faith. But it's about the content, and what Paul says is Paul presents all about God and how we all seek after God, that we search for God. It says that God is creator, created the world, all these things, so that people would search for God and perhaps grope for God and find God, though indeed God is not far from each of us, for in God we live and move and have our being. And so I guess I want to point out today that how our seeking after God, for me, it often feels like curiosity. If I'm in a place where I can feel curious, then I'm in a place where I feel free. I'm in a place where I am able to think and wonder without feeling threatened, by religious debate or being proven right or proving myself right or proving the other person wrong. And that what if the advocate, the spirit of truth that we'll read about on Sunday in John 14, is not just a roaring lion of passion to prove rightness, but that what if the advocate and the spirit of truth is also the whisper and delight of curiosity. So I'm going to read to you a small portion from Elizabeth Gilbert's Big Magic. This has been out for several years. I read it many years ago. And a friend of mine sent me an interview with Liz Gilbert recently that I listened to that I just adored. And talking about the difference between passion and curiosity, that passion and purpose can be exhausting, but curiosity, which I connect with most, curiosity feels free to me and encouraging. So I'm going to read to you a portion from Big Magic. I believe that curiosity is the secret. Curiosity is the truth and the way of creative living. Curiosity is the alpha and omega, the beginning and the end. Furthermore, curiosity is accessible to everyone. Passion can seem intimidatingly out of reach at times, a distant tower of flame, accessible only to geniuses and to those who are specially touched by God. But curiosity is a milder, quieter, more welcoming, and more democratic entity. The stakes of curiosity are also far lower than the stakes of passion. Passion makes you get divorced and sell all your possessions and shave your head and move to Nepal. Curiosity doesn't ask nearly so much of you. In fact, curiosity only ever asks one simple question. Is there anything you're interested in? Anything? Even a tiny bit? No matter how mundane or small? The answer need not set your life on fire or make you quit your job or force you to change your religion or send you into a fugue state. It just has to capture your attention for a moment. But in that moment, if you can pause and identify even one tiny speck of interest in something, then curiosity will ask you to turn your head a quarter of an inch and look at the thing a wee bit closer. Do it. It's a clue. It might seem like nothing, but it's a clue. Follow that clue, trust it, see where curiosity will lead you next, and then follow the next clue and the next and the next. Remember, it doesn't have to be a voice in the desert. It's just a harmless little scavenger hunt. Following that scavenger hunt of curiosity can lead you to amazing, unexpected places. It may even eventually lead you to your passion, albeit through a strange, untraceable passageway of back alleys, underground caves, and secret doors. Or it may lead you nowhere. You may spend your whole life following your curiosity and have absolutely nothing to show for it in the end, except one thing. You will have the satisfaction of knowing that you passed your entire existence in devotion to the noble human virtue of inquisitiveness. And that should be more than enough for anyone to say that they lived a rich and splendid life. So I hope you might find things that you're curious about every day. It might be about the people who live in your home. If you have family who are living with you right now or roommates, um, they say that we listen the worst to the people we live with because we just expect that we already know what they're going to say, right? To still be curious about the people in our lives, to listen to them, to notice things outside when we take walks, not on days like these, but when the sun is out, to be curious about things, even in the news. The outcry that's coming about Breonna Taylor's death within Louisville is a call for curiosity. What happened? What led to this? Curiosity leads us in that search of asking questions and seeking the best for all of us. So um, I wrap this up so that my 3-year-old can have a Zoom with his class from school, which in and of itself is a curious thing. We'll log on, we'll see a bunch of 3-year-olds squirming. In a moment, Walt doesn't even know he has this. I'm going to yell out that he has a Zoom. He loves Zoom calls, and he's going to come running and bounding down, curious to see his friends. So may you find some time to be curious. May you know that you do not have to win religious debates in order to be close to God and free and set free by the truth. May the spirit of truth, may the advocate come to you and help you find what you're curious about. I would love to hear what you're curious about. I thought about making a list of all the things I'm curious about, but didn't get around to it. But I want you to know that one of the things I thought of is roasted carrots. Why are roasted carrots so good? I mean, just olive oil, salt, and pepper. I want you to know that I've been curious about that lately, and it's even in the small things. So God be with you until we are together next week. Bye.